Christmas. Merry Christmas, young man.
Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Good tidings,
Merry Christmas, good lady.
Good tidings,
Merry Christmas to you.
Christmas and a Happy New Year.
What is the meaning of this commotion? Has some great tragedy befallen us to cause such a disturbance? Well, do tell, then, why all of this caterwauling outside my window?
It's Christmas Eve, Mr. Scrooge. We wanted to bring you a Christmas song.
Oh, you wanted to bring me a Christmas song, did you?
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't want a Christmas song. What I want is silence. Silence, I tell you. How's a man to get a decent day's work done with all of this caterwauling in the streets? I do not have time to waste hanging about listening to street urchins wailing about a holiday which I do not observe. Now, go away.
But sir, it's Christmas Eve.
What of it? A day like any other day. Not to be trifled away with frivolity when there's work to be done. Now, for the last time, be gone with you. Before I summon the law on each and every one of you. Be gone!
Say, Mr. Scrooge, a very Merry Christmas to you.
Humbug, be gone!
Marley was dead, to begin with. There is no doubt whatever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it, and Scrooge's name was good upon anything he chose to put his hand to. Old Marley was as dead as a doornail. Mind, I don't mean to say that I know of my own knowledge what there is particularly dead about a doornail. I myself might have been inclined to regard a coffin nail as the deadest piece of ironmongery in the trade. The wisdom of our ancestors is in the simile. My unhallowed hand shall not disturb it, or the country's done for. You will therefore permit me to repeat emphatically, Marley was as dead as a doornail. Scrooge knew he was dead? Of course he did. How could it be otherwise? Scrooge and he were partners for, I don't know how many years. Scrooge was his sole executor, his sole friend, and sole mourner. And even Scrooge was not so dreadfully cut up by the sad event on the day of his funeral, except to say that Marley was an excellent man of business. Scrooge honored that quality by making the funeral an undoubted bargain. The mention of Marley's funeral brings me back to the point I started from. There is no doubt that Marley was dead. This must be distinctly understood. Nothing wonderful can come from the story I am going to relate. Scrooge never painted out old Marley's name. There it stood, years afterwards, above the warehouse door. Scrooge and Marley. The firm was known as Scrooge and Marley. Sometimes people new to the business called Scrooge, and sometimes Marley. He answered to both names. It was all the same to him. Nobody ever stopped him in the street to say, "My dear Scrooge, when will you come to see me?" Even blind men's dogs appeared to know him. When they saw him coming on, they tugged their owners up streets or into doorways, and then would wag their tails as though to say, "No eye at all is better than an evil eye, dark master." Once upon a time, of all the good days in the year, on Christmas Eve, Scrooge sat busy in his counting house. It was cold, bleak, biting weather, foggy withal. He could hear the people in the court outside stamping their feet upon the pavement stones to warm them. The city clocks had only just gone 3. It was quite dark already. It had not been light all day. Candles were flaring in the windows of the neighboring offices like ruddy smears upon the palpable brown air. fog poured in through every chink and keyhole. It was so dense without that although the street was of the narrowest, houses opposite were mere candles.
Mr. Cratchit.
The fire has gone cold, sir.
Mr. Cratchit, come here. What is this? Yes, and this?
A waistcoat?
Yes, they are clothes, and as such, once purchased, may be used indefinitely. Coal, on the other hand, burns. Coal is costly. We'll be using no more coal today. If I see you make one more move toward that coal bin, I shall be forced to assume that your services are no longer required. Well, would it be too much to ask you to get back to work?
Of course, Mr. Scrooge.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Cratchit.
Merry Christmas to you, too, sir.
Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you. I said, Merry Christmas.
Bah, humbug.
Christmas a humbug? You cannot be serious. I'm sure.
I am serious, quite serious. What Christmas do you, what right have you to be merry at Christmas? You're poor enough.
What right have you to be dismal? What reason have you to be morose? You're rich enough.
Ah, humbug.
Don't be cross, Uncle.
What else can I be when I live in a world of fools such as this? Merry Christmas. Out upon a Merry Christmas. What's Christmas time for you but a time for paying your bills without any money? A time for finding yourself another year older and not 1 hour richer. Why, if I could work my way, every idiot that went about with a Merry Christmas on his lips would be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly right through his heart.
Uncle!
Nephew, you keep Christmas your way, let me keep it mine.
Keep it, but you don't keep it.
Then let me leave it alone. Whatever good it will do you, whatever good it has ever done you.
There are many things from which I have derived good and have not profited. I dare say Christmas among the rest. But I find Christmas to be a most glorious time. Why, it's a kind, forgiving, charitable time. The only time that I know of within the long calendar of the year where men and women feel by one resolute to open their normally shut upon hearts and freely give and share with all of God's creatures. Therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of silver or an ounce of gold into my pocket, it has done me good, will continue to do me good, and therefore, I say, God bless it.
Yeah, Mr. Cratchit, let me hear one more sound from you, and you shall keep your Christmas by losing your situation. You, sir, are a very powerful speaker.
Thank you.
It's a wonder you don't go to Parliament.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow.
No.
Why? Why?
Why did you get married?
Because I fell in love.
Because you fell in love. Good afternoon.
Nay, you have never given that as a reason not to come before. Why do so now?
Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you, and I ask of nothing in return. Why can we not be friends?
You're wasting my time. Good afternoon.
I'm sorry, Uncle, with all of my heart, to find you so resolute. We have never had quarrel, at least to which I have been a party. I make this trial in homage to Christmas, and I will keep my Christmas humor until the end. Therefore, I say, Uncle, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year.
And I have said, good afternoon.
And you, Mr. Cratchit, give my warmest regards of the holiday season to your wonderful wife and family.
Thank you, sir. You too. You too.
There's another fellow, my clerk. 15 shillings a week and a wife and a family going about Merry Christmas. She'll be tired of the madhouse.
Scrooge and Marley, I presume?
Yes, that's right.
Do I have the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Dead.
Dead?
Dead. Marty's been dead these 7 years. Died 7 years ago this very night.
Well, I perfectly understand that his partner has the same qualities as Mr. Marley?
Marty, yes. Been dead 7 years.
In this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, it is more than usually desirable that we should make some slight provisions for the poor and destitute who suffer greatly at this time. Many thousands are in want of common necessities, and hundreds of thousands are in want of common comforts, sir.
Are there no prisons?
Plenty of prisons.
Yes, and the union workhouses, are they still in operation?
Yes, but I wish they were not.
And the treadmills and the poor laws in full vigor?
Plenty of both, sir.
I'm glad to hear that. From what you first said, I thought something had occurred to stop them of their usefulness. I'm glad they're still working.
Under the impression that they scarcely furnish Christian cheer to the mind and body of the multitude, a few of us have endeavored to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of warmth. We choose this time because it is a time when want is keenly felt, and abundance rejoices. What should I put it down for?
Nothing.
Oh, you wish to remain anonymous.
What I wish is to be left alone. Since you ask, that is what I wish. I do not make merry at Christmas, and I cannot afford to make the idle merry. I have given enough money to those institutions I just mentioned. And if there are people who are badly off, they should go there.
But many can't go there, and many would rather die.
Well, if they would rather die, then let them do so, and decrease the surplus population.
Sure you can't mean that.
I do, with all my heart. Now, if you will get on with your business, and let me get on with mine, good afternoon.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round the Virgin Mother
Time, Mr. Cratchit. I suppose you'll need the whole day tomorrow.
If it's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. You'd consider yourself ill-used if I was to dock you half a crown for it, but you do not consider me ill-used when I pay you a whole day's wages for no work.
Well, sir, it's only once a year.
Oh, that's a poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose you must have the whole day, so be up all the earlier the next day.
That I will, sir. That I will.